Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Miss Ebony J, the host that does the most, and you are listening to 1230 The Buzz, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. This is Community Conversations, where we come to talk to real people about real issues happening in our community, and we provide solutions. In here with me today is Ricky Miller. How you doing, King?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. You know you representing CPS.
No doubt.
Cincinnati Public Schools, and you're here representing the athletics department.
Yes.
So let's talk about first. Let's start where athletes, they go to school, and people think that there's like this big privilege with them to where they don't have to like have normal rules and they don't have to be smart and have good grades. Like, what are you all doing to make sure or to ensure to the students that their academics is important and comes first?
Oh, that's a good point. But yeah, it's a high school. So, of course, the first thing is always grades. And in that process, like you said, playing sports is a privilege. It's not a right. So, before we get them on the field, we got to make sure they're taking care of business in the classroom, make sure they're showing respect to the people they got to show some respect to, and, treating everybody fairly. So, that's something that we pride ourselves in big time. And we just want to make sure we've got kids growing up the right way and learning the lessons they got to learn before they get out on that field.
Now, CPS is huge. Like, you cater to a big demographic. So how many students in schools would you say that they are?
Yeah.
Do you know?
So we got a rough idea. It's, like you said, it's one of the biggest ones in Ohio. And right now we're at over 36,000 students, almost 65 schools total, with 14 of those being high schools. So it's quite a bit on our plate, but we've got around 12,000 student athletes if you consider all the junior highs and high schools, and we're growing every day.
Okay, so what about the responsibilities and resources when it comes to like the school and programming?
Yeah, so at least from our office, one of the things we focus on is just offering that support to all the athletic departments, athletic directors, schools, programs, everything you can think about there. So when it comes to the resources, we like working with the community a lot. And that means the Reds Community Fund and Charlie Frank. He does a great job of helping us out and collaborating with our office and doing some cool stuff for the kids. Working with the Cincinnati Bengals to get equipment donated so our kids can wear some new cleats instead
Oh,
of
really? The
wearing
Bengals be giving back like that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They have a good relationship with us, and their equipment manager Adam Nolan invites us down every now and then to pick up some cleats and gloves that we can donate to the kids too.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
That is great. So, like, they're not just getting their checks doing the things that they're doing, playing sports, but they also give back in the capacity to make sure that the students have what they need.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on, and while we see the Bengals playing every day and the Reds playing every day, they do a lot inside the community, and specifically with Cincinnati Public Schools, and we definitely take advantage of that and work well together to give our kids everything that we can possibly do to help them be successful.
That's dope. Now, I know they've been talking about an athlete of the month program, CPS. I know that's something new that you all are doing. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so that kind of goes into the support that we were talking about. So one of those big items is student athlete recognition.
Okay.
There's oftentimes you see, this guy or this girl who's doing awesome out on the court or the field, but in addition to recognizing them for their awesome accomplishments in their sport, we're also on a mission, to your first point of showing that kids there's more to being a student than just the athlete piece. And that's bringing them up to do well in the classroom, stand out in the community and give back and help people. And that's kind of what this Athlete of the Month program embodies and why it was created.
Now, you were an athlete, right?
Baseball and basketball.
Baseball and basketball. Where did you play?
So I grew up going to Sycamore, and then I played a year of college ball up in Cleveland at Baldwin Wallace University. But after that, I spent a year up there, realized, there was a lot more things, like I said, than being an athlete. So wanted to come back home to Cincinnati where I grew up, finish out my education at the University of Cincinnati, and ended up with a degree in sport administration.
Okay, so now you're just trying to make sure that the athletes know all the different resources that they have, all the different support and programs that they can do outside of just being an athlete.
Oh, yeah, big time. And I mentioned University of Cincinnati. They're a huge partner for us as well. And, it always goes back to doing everything that we can to put the kids first and give them everything that they need to be successful.
Now, would you say things have changed since you played sports?
Uh, yes and no. It's always that, what kind of influence do some of the pro athletes have? And you mentioned being more than just an athlete. So I know I said it already, but we really just want to hone in on taking care of business in the classroom because without an education, it's hard to advance anywhere. And we want to put these kids at a we want to give these kids an opportunity to do something beyond high school, whether that be going to college or getting a job or whatever. Giving them the right tools to do something at that next level is kind of the mission. And then also just speaking your mind, being you, and just developing as a person.
Yeah, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I mean, you did sports and now you're giving back as a person that's on a committee to help athletes. You know, they can be a coach, they can
Hmm.
be so many other things. And I think that's some of the things that they don't consider. They feel like because I play sports here, I'm going to go pro, I'm going to go to the next level, but not really understanding all the other opportunities and resources that they have.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, I'm glad you mentioned the coaches as well. So we rely heavily on the coaches to help us identify these model student athletes. And a lot of the time, those coaches are the kids who grew up playing sports, thinking, they'd go pro. And, ultimately it didn't work out for whatever reason. And that's okay. And they're coming back to CPS
Hmm.
and helping, develop these young students, and helping them realize exactly that piece of the conversation that there's more to it. And, like I said, we rely on the coaches to nominate these kids for, whatever their GPA may be or for them standing out in a particular class. And I mentioned the community piece as well. We got to get out and help the community in Cincinnati, and that ultimately helps everybody else. So we really push our student athletes and all students to give back whenever possible. And it really stands out when you got a program like this that can recognize those kids for doing the right thing. And then, everybody else sees them being awarded for
Yep.
being awesome and standing out, and that helps them strive to be better as well.
Now, how is it with the community involvement when it comes to basketball and well, not just basketball, but just athletics? Because I know in college you have to like read to the students, go read to the kids, help them, and do things like that. Are we still doing things like that when it comes to high school and junior high?
Yeah, sure, of course. So, you know, it, outside of the sport, we've got resources that help our students with ACT prep and
Okay.
study tables. But on top of that, we're trying to teach them new things about nutrition and how to work your body right, strength and
Yes.
conditioning, things of that nature. So it ultimately just comes back for setting up that student to be successful beyond high school. And I know I keep saying it, but it's really important to us. And all those pieces kind of culminate into what we're doing as an athletic office.
This is Community Conversations, 1230 The Buzz, 100.3, Cincy's R&B station, and 101.1 The Wiz. You know, I am here talking to Mr. Ricky Miller of the Cincinnati Public School Athletics Department. He is here talking to us about the Athlete of the Month program that they're now implementing in the Cincinnati Public Schools, where all the different coaches get a chance to nominate a student that they feel is shining, an athlete that they see as a star who's really growing and not just on the field doing great things, but doing great things in the classroom and in the community. Now, tell us, what kind of ways do you highlight the students if they win?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. So this is year 3 of our program, and like any project that you start, it kind of takes baby steps and develops into what it is now. So we started with just a simple social media post, had some of our sponsors like the Reds Community Fund, FC Cincinnati, Dick's Sporting Goods, donate prizes. So we'd get to go out to the schools and give these kids prizes every month. But as this program's kind of gained some traction, got some popularity around the city and our schools, we've been able to kind of up it every single year. So
Okay.
this year, we actually have a videographer who goes out to all our schools, and it's this big presentation where we get some kids around the school, almost an assembly pep rally setting. And, they're cheering the kids on, and the athlete of the month will walk in the gym with the video camera on them, and we'll do this really fun presentation. And it gets the kids feeling good about themselves. It brings the school together to celebrate something that is worth celebrating and needs to be pointed out and shown that they're doing the right thing. And then on top of that, we also bring these kids in for one-on-one interviews where they tell us about how important academics are to them.
Okay.
What kind of work are they doing out in the community, and how are they making a difference and giving back? And then, of course, some of their favorite sports memories and things like that.
Oh, I think that's so dope. So when everybody comes together in this big like pep rally kind of setting, does the athlete of the month know when they walk in there what they're walking in for, or is it like a surprise?
So it's a little bit of both. We don't want to fully surprise everybody. We want to give them an idea of what's coming so they're just prepared. But yeah, there's times where an athlete will walk in and say, dang, that's a lot more kids than I thought were going to be here.
Right.
Administrators and everybody around the school supporting.
Just cheering them on.
Exactly. Just the encouragement around it is a really contagious energy, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Oh, it sounds fun. I mean, come on. You never know what these kids are going through first off, right? They're playing sports for whatever reason. We don't know. We don't even ask those questions. But to really be recognized for the hard work that they put in, I mean, the workouts alone, the stuff that they have to do is, I used to play sports, so I know. It's a lot of work. And you're doing that, then you're in the classroom, then maybe they got siblings when they go home. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on. To be recognized in this manner where you get everyone in the school to come and just like, yeah, you did it. You're the one. You're great. And then you're representing it for that school because, again, you're only choosing one each month out of all these schools you just mentioned, over 64. Like, how do you all even pick?
Yeah, right. It's special for the kid, and I'm glad you mentioned, the life outside of sports in school. We don't know what these kids are going through, and a lot of the time, these sports are an opportunity to get away from all that and kind of drown the noise. So, like you said, a lot of schools, a lot of kids to choose from, and a lot of great candidates that come every single month. But we work to find a male and a female student athlete every single month, and like you said, just award them for what they deserve. And it's a way to spread the word about positivity and just doing the right thing and developing young people to be good people.
Now, is there a committee, or how does the student like actually earn the athlete of the month?
So we've got a little online nomination form set up.
Okay.
So each time a coach would send in a nomination, we get an alert. And when I say we, that's our athletic office at district level.
Okay.
So we'll kind of go through all those different nominations and do GPA checks and talk to coaches to see what our strongest candidates look like outside of that nomination ballot. And then we come together as an office and decide, okay, athlete A and athlete B, student A and student B, these are the guys and girls that deserve it the most, and we're going to celebrate them this month.
Wow, I would hate to be on that committee. I mean, oh my, it's too many schools, too many coaches putting in votes, and I mean, all these amazing athletes. You only can pick one each month, but the reward, I think, is just so amazing. Like you said, the rewards change every month, but the big thing is that they do get to come and sit and have an interview to discuss their point of view and to tell their story a little bit more, to share with the next person, why academics is so important. And then they're highlighted and recognized across the community, and that's even more dope.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, we're just excited to do it, and the more we do, the more people notice, and we're getting support from the board and other people around the community, and we just want to continue to grow it and make sure these students really do get recognized.
I mean, this is the third year.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's growing. It's grown more and more every year. Can you kind of guess to where you really want to go with this?
Yeah, we don't want to put a ceiling on it. So we want to keep getting bigger, better, try to get as much sponsor support as possible. And, hopefully we're getting to a point where we can do more than 2 athletes of the month.
Yeah.
And that'd be a really big goal for us. But, sharing stuff on social media, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter at CPS Athletics. But we've got our presentations posted up there. And like I said, we just want to continue to grow this thing, and really, we don't want to put a ceiling on it. The sky's the limit.
So maybe a mom or dad or a student is listening or watching, and they're trying to figure out, like, they want to strive to be a Cincinnati Public School Athlete of the Month. What advice do you have for them?
Hey, you just got to be a good person, always trying to make yourself better. You always got to be working hard in the classroom, regardless of what those grades look like. It can always get better. The the more work you put in, the more results you're going to get. In addition, getting out in the community, whether that be working with your schools and your student athlete leadership teams to go help some elementary school give backs with school supplies, or going downtown and helping feed some people at a shelter, or donating
Yes.
clothes. I'm telling you, anything helps. And of course, working hard on the field or the court as well. And you mentioned off-season workouts and all that good stuff. It's not just the game. We're looking at people that practice hard and show leadership in the locker room and amongst their teammates and in the school. So, it's a lot of things that come together to make an athlete of the month, but we just want kids to strive to be the best they can be in all three of those different areas. And we think in doing that, it creates better people and ultimately sets you up for more success in the long run.
What can the parents do to help their students be better athletes?
Hey, be there for them. It sounds simple, but really, talk to your kids and, make sure they know you care about them and that you're supporting them and, you're their biggest fan. And, we always want to see more people at the games and, of course, come out to the games and all that good stuff. But, outside of that, ask them how their homework's going, or ask them how school's going, or just how life's going. And obviously that builds a stronger bond as a family, but I think in the long term as well, it also builds a stronger bond in the community, in the school, and just overall in the city.
Oh, I definitely agree. Now, what can we do if we're listening and we want to donate or maybe even be a partner or maybe contribute to something that you all give for the Athlete of the Month? Where would you like for them to go?
I would like for everybody to reach out to their local high school or neighborhood school and talk to their principal or athletic director. Reach out to the district office for Cincinnati Public Schools and ask about athletics. Ask about the Athlete of the Month and other initiatives that we have, because we obviously got a lot going on, and Athlete of the Month is a piece of that. But
You
it's
said
a
it's
really
a whole bunch
important
more,
piece.
huh?
Oh yeah, so we're always looking for help as far as funding and giving other resources to our kids. But at the end of the day, kids come first, and we got to do everything we can to get them what they need.
Ricky, how long have you been doing this?
This is my 4th year in the role, so I graduated from UC in December of 2016, and like I said, I just love sports. I like being around kids and helping people.
So if you need anything, you can call Mr. Ricky because he, as you can hear, he's pretty passionate. He's pretty passionate about helping our athletes and making sure that they have the things that they need so they can move forward and be successful while in high school and while moving on to the next part of their career. And like he said, they don't have to go to college. There's other opportunities, but he just want to make sure that they know they have options.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes our kids don't feel like they have options. They feel like there's only one way. But you want to make sure that they have multiple options and that they know they do. So I just commend you. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me about the great things that Cincinnati Public Schools is doing. I look forward to hearing more about the different initiatives. So let me know if anything else is going on.
Absolutely.
We'll love to have you back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and we appreciate you doing everything you do, and we're definitely excited to share anything else that we can share.
No problem. Tell them a website again that they can go to.
Hey, check us out at CPS Athletics on Twitter and Facebook. We got a YouTube page as well where we share a lot of the good things we're doing, special events, student recognition, all that good stuff.
CPS got a YouTube up. Y'all hip
yeah.
now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Socially connected all
Hit
the
that
way.
follow button.
Make sure you connect with them. Make sure you subscribe. This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, 100.3 Cincy R&B station, and 101.1 The Wiz.